Good afternoon. My name is Athina Constantinou, and I am the Managing Director of APC Sports Consulting, an international sports financial consulting firm. I welcome you all to this afternoon's session, which will deal with the issue of athletes' financial literacy and the obligation of the sports industry stakeholders to help reverse the trend of athletes making fatal financial mistakes. We at APC Sports have a vision to actively contribute in shaping the financial future of the sports industry. A great part of this vision is to help and protect athletes who are the cornerstone of our industry. Through our work with athletes, we have accumulated a vast knowledge on their money management behaviors. Unfortunately, we often see that the commitment and dedication that athletes give to the game is not the same that they give to their personal finances. We strongly believe that this must change. We consider athletes to be some of the most financially vulnerable persons of our times, and the numbers support this claim. Today, we will look into the roots of this problem and where the roots of the problem lie, and what to do to help athletes make better financial decisions. Sport governing bodies, leagues, clubs, academies, agents, and generally all stakeholders in the sports industry can contribute in order to alleviate the problem and help take preventive actions. As a result of their financial vulnerability and contrary to the prevailing perception of funds, most athletes after retiring are not financially set for life, living in mansions with unlimited money to spend. There are various factors contributing to the financial vulnerability of athletes. Briefly, the main ones are the following. Athletes earn substantial amounts of income, but within the limits of a short time span, usually 10 to 15 years. As we can see from our slide, the average annual salary of an athlete can be anywhere from 50 to 100 times more than the average household income, both in the US and in Europe. The end of the athlete's field play usually marks the end of the substantial earnings, both from field play and from other sources such as image rights, exploitation, endorsements, and so forth. Also, athletes' earnings are extremely volatile. Most of the times, the salaries are not fully guaranteed, and in addition, poor performance, injury, on and off field behavior can adversely affect their earning capacity. In addition, athletes earn their salaries at a very young age. As we can see from the slide, the athletes' earnings peak between the ages of 25 to 34, and they take a huge plunge at the age of 35. As opposed to the rest of the normal workforce, who reach peak earnings between ages 39 to 55. A lot of athletes leave their home countries at a very young age because they're offered lucrative contracts abroad. It is quite difficult for them because they miss home and the shelter of their families. A lot of these athletes tend to overspend to compensate for things that are missing in their lives, such as family and friends. Let's look at some interesting findings. How athletes behave financially after retirement has been a matter of research for journalists, professional athletes associations, and sports management researchers. Most of the research and available statistics come from North America, especially the big leagues with some of the highest salaries, such as the NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB. So far, research in Europe has been and is quite limited. The statistics are compelling. Just take a look at them. The magnitude of the problem is obvious. Despite the exorbitant professional athlete salaries, within 5 years past their retirement, 60% of former NBA players have gone bankrupt or are under financial distress. Approximately 25% of NFL players report financial difficulties in the first year after retirement, and within 2 years removed from their last game, 78% of all NFL players are divorced, bankrupt, or remain unemployed. Also, research done by Ex-Pro, a charity for ex-players, suggests that 3 out of 5 Premier League players who earn an average salary of £30,000 a week declare bankruptcy within 5 years of retirement. So where does the problem really lie? What are the reasons behind the financial failure of most athletes? Well, our research has indicated a combination of factors. Take the athlete's lifestyle, for example. The high income and celebrity recognition that they enjoy at such an early age leads professional athletes being drawn to a lifestyle of the rich and famous, living for the moment and reveling in their fame and fortune. Most of them live paycheck to paycheck and blow their money on depreciating assets instead of putting it away. It's all about the nicest jewelry, cars, yachts, and generally showing up the money. Also, athletes have a lot of external pressures from family, friends, coaches, and others who have helped them succeed. Family and friends usually seek financial rewards and returns from the athlete as recognition of their contribution to the athlete's fame. Sudden wealth or sudden money cannot be handled appropriately, especially by young athletes who are completely inexperienced in handling finances. The receipt of sudden wealth is an intense and emotional event, and it precipitates new financial challenges and decisions. Athletes must deal with their emotions and confront their fears that may arise from the newfound wealth, and this is quite difficult. Bad investments misplace trust. Advisor improprieties and misappropriations of funds have contributed to the financial problems of professional athletes. Unfortunately, there are a lot of shady financial predators out there, and athletes make an easy target. Gambling, which is quite spread among professional athletes. Divorce and child support payments. Divorce has a disastrous effect on the financial well-being of professional athletes, as most of them don't even contemplate signing prenuptial agreements before getting married. In addition, a number of athletes have children from multiple wives, and they're obliged to pay several monthly alimony and child support payments, which are quite substantial. And last, but very important, the lack of financial education. Career athletes often do not have the same level of education and financial literacy as people who took more conventional career and education paths. The unique financial challenges that come from life as a professional athlete, combined with the lack of financial education, usually leads to poor financial decisions, which unfortunately have an adverse lifelong impact. So how can we fix this? Many of the factors that make an athlete financially vulnerable, unfortunately, cannot be altered. An athlete will always have a family, will always have friends and other relationships, and will always have to make decisions for himself or herself. So how can we reverse the trend of athletes making fatal financial decisions? We believe that the answer lies into educating athletes to make sound financial decisions by cultivating financial literacy as a life skill for athletes of all ages and all levels. Financial literacy refers to an individual's knowledge about money, personal finances, financial options, and the ability to make wise decisions concerning money. Financially educated athletes will be able to react in a more prudent manner to the situations from the factors arising from the situation from the factors stated above. A number of organizations worldwide have recognized the importance of financial literacy and the need to be spread around the world. In the sports industry, the Sports Financial Advisors Association has made it its mission to reverse the trend of athletes making fatal financial decisions, thus helping them attain lifelong financial freedom. We believe that this is an example to be followed by other sports industry organizations and stakeholders. So let's look at what is currently being done in the sports industry to cultivate financial literacy. Let's look first at the sport governing bodies. To date, sport governing bodies have taken some measures to fight financial illiteracy. There is recognition that the problem exists. However, there are very few mandatory programs aimed directly towards the financial education of athletes. Both the International Olympic Committee and FIFA make references encouraging financial literacy efforts, but there are no bespoke financial programs currently in place. As part of the 2020 Olympics agenda implementation, the IOC is currently launching 2 programs to support athletes with their post-athletic careers, namely the Career Program and the Athlete Learning Gateway. We have been told that both of these programs will contain a financial literacy curriculum as well. FIBA, on the other hand, has made efforts to increase player awareness of some of the key off-court issues, which have resulted in the development of the Athlete's Financial Handbook. This document aims to provide professional athletes with a reliable and trustworthy source of basic advice, specifically tailored to the needs of professional athletes. Now let's take a look at leagues. On the other side of the Atlantic, in the US, leagues in cooperation with their respective players' associations have created some educational programs with focus on financial literacy. However, very little is being done at the league level in Europe and the rest of the world in terms of athletes' financial education. In the US, the NBA, in partnership with the NBA Players Association, have been providing the NBA Rookie Transition Program for some time now. The program is aimed at rookie players entering the league, and it includes some courses in finance. Also, the NFL player engagement has recently partnered with several organizations to offer student athletes, current and former players, financial education programs. One such program is the National Football League Financial Education Program. This program's aim is to provide players with knowledge to manage their personal finances and improve financial decision making. The objective of the program is to ensure the long-term financial stability of players throughout the league. I would also like to point out that besides the US and Europe, some player associations in the rest of the world do offer financial literacy programs in the form of seminars in cooperation with various investment advisory companies. For example, the South African Football Players Union has created a partnership with Old Mutual Finance called SAFPU On the Money, which is a financial literacy program aimed at equipping players with the ability to know how money works in the world and how to manage it better. Also, the Football Players Association of India has recently launched a financial literacy program in collaboration with an investment advisory services firm, an asset management company, and a life insurance company, amongst others. The program involves organizing services and resources to ensure their members' understanding of easy financial solutions, which will enable them to manage their surplus income. So we have identified the problem, and we have gone a step further and recommended that financial literacy is the solution to the problem. We have also seen what is currently being done to alleviate the problem, which is not enough. So how do we go about actually solving the problem? How and where do we start? We recognize that our starting point is to summon the help and support of clubs and leagues, as well as the various international sports federations. To begin with, we believe that clubs and leagues should incorporate financial literacy as part of their corporate social responsibility programs. It would do an immense amount of good to athletes, clubs, and the game itself. A club can easily integrate a financial literacy program to its CSR, not only as a social responsibility towards the community, but as a responsibility towards its employees, the players. A tailor-made curriculum which addresses an athlete's financial life cycle can be implemented from the team's academy level at a very early age in the form of weekly in-class lectures to the players of the first team in the form of short seminars. This way a club can show that it really cares for the well-being and future of all its players. The knowledge gained through the program is a life skill that all athletes can implement in their lives. Let's look at associations and leagues. Acknowledging that both prevention and sanctions are critical to tackling several issues around sports, associations and leagues have implemented regulatory frameworks in order to protect their sport and athletes inside and outside the field of play. Recently, we have seen this regulatory framework being extended by leagues and associations to protect clubs from getting themselves into financial trouble. To be more precise, UEFA has implemented financial fair play regulations which aim to improve the financial health of European football clubs. We strongly believe that the same principle can be implemented with the aim of protecting athletes from financial pitfalls. A number of leagues and associations in the US have enacted regulations that make financial education programs mandatory to athletes entering their leagues. With the protection of athletes in mind, associations and leagues from all around the world should strive to make financial education programs mandatory, not only to newcomers, but to all their athletes of all ages. Player associations. Player associations are in place with the main goal of protecting athletes. Knowledge can help a person to avoid doing critical mistakes. It is a players' association's duty to protect the athletes it represents. A player association can implement financial literacy seminars and workshops for its players to help them and support them in making sound financial decisions. So how do we envision the implementation of the proposed solution, and what exactly do we want to accomplish? In order to implement the financial literacy program, work starts at the strategic level in consulting with the federations, leagues, and the club's senior management on the program's scope, objectives, and success metrics. Stakeholders can work with organizations which can play a valuable role in developing and delivering financial education programs. It is vital that any programs or resources are genuine financial education and do not promote a specific financial institution or its products and services. Such an organization is the Sports Financial Advisors Association, which was established in 2004, the only one of its kind, all sports, all financial. As mentioned before, this non-profit organization's aim is to prevent athletes from making fatal financial decisions which adversely affect them throughout their lives. The SFAA has made it its mission to cultivate financial literacy as a life skill for student athletes, active and retired professionals, and their families. In addition, sports industry stakeholders can also agree on offering educational technology solutions. A virtual learning center can be created, which will combine multimedia and interactive features with practical money management lessons. E-learning, webinars, educational mobile apps, learning simulators, etc. Also, customized curriculums should be devised in order to engage the athlete across various life stages and incrementally advance their financial literacy with respect to the end of their playing career. Through these programs, athletes will be educated so as to realize that their career is short, learn to consult trustworthy professionals, be able to set a budget and follow it, be conservative, learn to say no to family and friend requests for money, and prepare themselves for a second career. In conclusion, what we want to accomplish through these programs are the following. First, we want to make sure that athletes obtain a basic financial understanding which will help them make sound financial decisions, because such decisions usually have a lifelong impact. Second, we want them to be able to identify who are the right people to advise them. We want them to be able to create a strong support system which will help them in the international cross-border sports business, so that they realize their full potential and thrive financially. It is of utmost importance to surround themselves with trustworthy, qualified, and knowledgeable professionals who are there to help and protect them. And last, we want them to be aware that developing their brand and working on their personal marketing strategy will help them stay up to date and in the spotlight for much longer than how long their athletic miracles endure. So where do we go from here? We have shown why athletes are considered one of the most financially vulnerable groups of our times and why this is the case. One of the main reasons financial illiteracy can be altered by the implementation of financial education programs by all sports stakeholders. How do we go about changing the current situation and formalizing and spreading sports financial literacy? What do we now expect from clubs, leagues, and associations? We definitely need the help of clubs in this. This goes to all club officials out here today. Clubs should be part of the community in a wider sense, and their success is not only measured in the number of trophies they win, but also in the impact they have in the community in which they exist. Clubs should use their brand to leverage support and create awareness of financial literacy, not only among their fans, but also among their players. Consider including financial literacy courses from an academy level to your first team level. Help and protect players and make them understand that you care about them. I also want to send a message to sports associations and leagues. A sports association, as the guardian of every sport, has the duty to protect not only the clubs and fans, but also the athletes participating in the sport. You can enforce regulations regarding financial literacy and implement changes in your rules so that clubs are required to have their players attend financial literacy courses for a certain number of hours per season. And finally, player unions and player representatives. Consider the long-term well-being of your players. Equip them with the life skills that financial literacy offers. Don't let them disappear financially when the curtain closes. Player unions are trying to advise young players that they need to plan for life after football by putting some money away, but that is not enough. All players need to be educated when it comes to financial matters. This is the only feasible way to change their financial behavior. Make your players understand that they need to take action now because the earnings cannot be replaced and they definitely do not last forever. I would like to close this presentation by saying that we want to implement this change together with all the sports industry stakeholders. We are planting a seed that all of us should nourish for it to be able to grow. We all have a role in this. Financially educated athletes will help the sports business become more efficient and more ethical. At the same time, from a human point of view, athletes need the help and protection from repeating the same financial mistakes again and again. I believe that if we all pull together, we can make a change, a positive change for athletes, for clubs, and for the beautiful game itself. Thank you very much. I will now take any questions that you may have. Any questions? Thank you very much.